My brothers and sisters, let's get down to business. I'm called Dōshanko, otherwise known as He of the Beginning. Welcome to my temple. Now, this video is a bit different from others in the regard that I'm actually promoting my book again, but this time from a completely different lens and time than before. It's a bit more simplistic. And first of all, my new book, Cwadh with the Dragon's Heart, Arc 1, The Journey Before, is a remastered fragment of my previous installments. It is hard for me to promote because I am literally, submitting a product for business when this work is incredibly personal. And for those of you who know me, the business aspect of art just sucks the cum from my bones, leaves me bone dry. And before I enter into yet another tangent, let me explain what my series is about. So the premise entails like a young girl by the name of Cwadh, saved from the brink of death in a raging stream by a masked figure who calls himself Charita. At first, anyone would believe, oh, it's just a human need to save a dying child, but this mere act is the pivotal point that sets extremely important details in motion. Saving this child was, it was just a foot in the door. So, to explain it off, Charita is a spiritual entity, he who dwells in the unknown, and Cwadh's coincidental following leaves her trapped in a strange realm, a realm specifically designed to contain a single story. This story is about the true meat behind my series, depicting a tale about a child by the name of Asura, an inspiring warrior who has to grow into a man for the world of our nightmares. Imagine like you're on a planet that has no land that is separate, where there are no continents. There's only the oceans and a single continent. You can imagine how primitive that this world is, with all the matters of predators, with the humans of this time being, confined not into civilizations but hunters and gatherers. You thought humans are dangerous now. You thought they were helpless now. Imagine not having a neighbor to help you in times of crisis. Imagine a world that does not use money to create a life for yourself. Imagine a world where you so much as step on the wrong patch of grass and that winds up getting you killed. Imagine how hard it is for you to make a friend. I created such a world because as humans, we attach so much of who we are into what we have, our jobs, our homes, the opinions of other people. I mean, if we strip humans of all those things, then what identity, what will remain? It will be character. And there was something in Star Wars: The Old Republic that encapsulates this theme. And ironically, it was from the Sith Emperor when he was narrating over the course of, I believe, what was it called? Was it Betrayed? I think it might have been. Is it Betrayed? Actually, I'm no longer certain if it was Betrayed or not, but I do know it was the fourth. It was the fourth. The fourth. Yeah, the fourth trailer. Yeah, but I had to give myself a little bit of a minute there. But he was saying, with your birth comes a solemn vow. You will have nothing. Your privilege is the dirt. And, I seem to be focused on this particular perspective a lot. And it's true. Humans, we are indoctrinated that we have to be something outside of ourselves, that we have to earn love, that when we are children, especially babies, parents are hardwired to love us just because we exist. They give us so much, and not every child has that luxury. Some children have nothing. The story does not focus on this aspect much at all, but that type of environment does play a great hand in shaping their, reactions and, actions of each character. Tying this into oh my goodness, no, my love for ancient history. I wanted people to fall in love with my characters. I may not be the most punctual author, but I want to tell some of the greatest stories ever. So let me continue with the story. So the larger threads of Asura's story involves a prophecy. I lied. Not a prophecy, the prophecy. It depicts a war before the conception of time. There was three avatars, not from Avatar: The Last Airbender, even though I did get a lot of inspiration from that. But these were originally three avatars that were splintered from a single consciousness. If you saw my explaining the He of the Beginning video, it does describe in depth who this being is, but that's a major spoiler, and because that character is yet to be mentioned in my story, the dots won't really be connected by readers until way later. You can equate them to God, Jesus, and the devil, but it's beyond a religious affair, and the nature of intent is shrouded in mystery. All you really need to know is that there was an avatar that serves natural balance, light, and shadow. And, one day Shadow found an ambition so strong that it would abandon its responsibility and it would surpass the light counterpart in strength. It does scream unoriginal. Unoriginal? Oh my goodness, my English sucks today, okay? Sorry. It just screams unoriginal, right? In terms of a trope, but when you're storytelling, it's all right to have common tropes, but your nuance is everything. And this particular nuance determines the events thereafter, and it is expressed through everyone's collective journey. Of course, as an author, I'm not going to tell the full story, just enough to make you wonder. But continuing on, the balance had to not only join but fuse with another party. Balance should be a party that acts only when both sides need to be equalized in strength. But this is the first occasion where it literally had to share all of its strength to defeat a supposed weaker party because it lost complete faith that the shadow would return to its former seat. The battle shook all of reality and left the fused avatar of near infinite power exhausted, and it was then that an even greater vision took place. Shadow is an immortal entity, so killing it is out of the question. When it was defeated, it had to be sealed away, ever destined to return. So the fused entity would splinter into many powerful and spiritual guardians spread across the universe, both to maintain balance over reality, but also one day they would eventually fuse back together to defeat the shadow once and for all. But each of them have their own personalities, and not all of them are in complete, agreement with one another. So it is Asura's role to be that medium to unite and learn from these several entities so that the tale will finally end. And along the way, the character Suyaru will further be developed both by the story she witnesses and by Cherita's secret lessons. Asura's story is essentially the key to Suyaru's future. And now for those of you who have gotten through the video, you have my utmost thanks because I'm always scared to post content like this. Any future listener is greatly appreciated. Arc 1, The Journey Before, does exist on Amazon Kindle. Make sure you grab yourself a copy, share with your friends, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And as always, face the mountain.